CD&SAM podcast episode something. We're here today with a special guest, Harry. He's known for his baseball expertise, but he's also going to be giving us some W Pels takes, hopefully. And that's what we're mostly here to discuss. Those Pelicans on a 4-game win streak, riding in off of a win at the number 1 seed in the Western Conference last night, 13-point win at Minnesota following domination over the Nets, and so they go 2-0 on the back-to-back. And with that, I'd like to hand the floor over to Harry for any opening statements.
Yeah, I want to say blessed to be on this podcast.
We're happy to have you, kid.
My ball knowledge may not be as elite as some other people, but I thank everyone for allowing me the opportunity.
Yeah, and just to give some background on Harry. Harry is he's a Braves fan, longtime Braves fan, big Braves fan, big baseball guy. Not so much into basketball and football.
Let's just say new to the game.
Yeah, he's new to the game in basketball. But yeah, to kind of like transition into the Pels, let's not undermine the significance. That's what I said.
Should undermined. It's not a word.
I didn't mean to say undermine. I just meant undermine.
Just
anyway,
next time.
Sam.
Ridiculous.
Okay, Connor.
The Pelicans went into the Timberwolves' backyard and won when the Pelicans haven't been great on the road. And the Timberwolves haven't lost back-to-back games this year, and the Pelicans broke that streak behind a pretty spread out scoring, I'd say. Although Zion, I'll pull it up. Zion had 27, right?
He had a great night.
Yeah, it seems like
the exact score sheet.
It seems like he always does well against Rudy, which is kind of odd.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I feel like maybe he's just more so up for that game because it is Rudy Gobert. I think a lot of Zion's performances are dependent on if he really wants to go that night or not. And I think when he goes up against Rudy Gobert, he does. And you see that last night, 27 points on only 15 shots. He really controlled the game, him and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, and also, I mean, CJ's having a career year. He's shooting like
very, very quietly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at least from the three, he's shooting. Shooting 44% from three. And I was in Dick's the other day. Sent Harry a picture of me and Dick's the other day, and I saw they were selling a ton of CJ Lehigh jerseys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's what March Madness, man.
Yeah. I guess, bro, what conference is Lehigh in? Are they in the Patriot League?
They're the Patriot. They're definitely in the Patriot League. Yep.
What a pull from the kid. Okay, Sam, I guess you're gonna have to kind of enlighten me. Harry, did you watch this game?
I watched a little bit. And the one thing I did watch, Herb's minutes, man. I mean, 37 minutes and
Jesus, yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, unreal production. And I mean, sorry, 1 for 3 from 3, but 4 for 5 on the free throw. But I mean,
no, Herb was 4 for 5 from the 3.
From 3, yeah.
You're looking at BI.
Yeah, sorry. And I mean, I think it can't really get much better than that.
No, I mean, if Herb, let's be real, if Herb does that on a nightly basis, who's beating us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor, are you saying enlighten you like you didn't watch last night? Or?
No, I was going to say some about JV being in foul trouble, but then I asked something about Harry, so I just completely lost that train of thought.
Yeah. He had 4 quick fouls by about midway through the third quarter, but it ended up not being a big deal because we got Rudy into foul trouble pretty early in the game as well. I think a good note to make about this game is Jose Alvarado getting 27 minutes. I think we have had more of an emphasis on the Jose minutes over this 4-game little streak here, and I think that was important because when we were losing, it was down the stretch of games. I think Jose understands the tempo of the game in a way that not a lot of other guys on the roster do. So I think getting upping his minutes has been really important, especially because last year when we were at our best, it was because not solely, but it also did happen to coincide with Jose at his most prevalent on the team. So I think it's, I'm always going to be a Jose diehard, but I do think his minutes are really important, even if he didn't have the greatest stat line last night.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. I mean, Jose's a winning player. Like, I mean,
Yes,
from his like
I can't agree
Grand
with that.
Theft Alvarado stuff, but I mean, he's just a leader. Like, he's an energy guy that is brought up off the bench. But one question I want to ask you guys, Harry, I'll start with you. Do you think Najee should be getting minutes, or do you think Hawk should be getting minutes, or do you think it should be split?
It's such a tough decision because I mean Najee's on the defensive end, but I mean you have Hawk who's this rookie, and I mean you saw him drop 31 in the Birmingham Squadron
I think it was,
game.
yeah, 32, 31.
I mean, I would probably still start Najee because I mean I think he started off well this season. He was shooting very well from three, and so but
He
I mean
was killing it from downtown.
I don't know. I mean I feel like it go either way.
Sam.
I think Najee's just a better all-around basketball player at this moment. And the Pelicans bench, I think we're really trying to create a defensive identity when we come in with that bench, when we have Dyson, Jose, and Najee. And I don't know if Hawkins really gives us that aspect. I mean, obviously Hawkins is going to bring you shooting. He's arguably the best shooter out of this draft class. But when we do have Trey out there, I feel like that's a role that is filled, and that's why we're seeing Hawkins did get some meaningful minutes against the Nets the other night with Trey Murphy out. But I think Najee's better all-around basketball player. Najee's great late in shot clocks too. You get him the ball, he can oftentimes get his shot where he wants at the rim. So for me, I agree with keeping Najee as the guy that's getting kind of the bench minutes for guys like Herb and maybe Ingram at times. I didn't expect that Najee would get those minutes, especially the way that Hawkins balled out early in the season, but I'm glad to see that he is. And he's taking advantage of it. He's been really good this year so far.
And Sam, if you'll give me another chance to use this word, let's not undermine Larry, the resurgence or the reincarnation of Larry.
Yes.
It's great to have Larry back. Cody Zeller. I mean, Cody was hurt too. That Houston game, Sengun, Jonas got into foul trouble, and Sengun, man, that boy ate our lunch, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
LP.
Yeah, we're definitely enjoying Larry's presence the last 3 games. I think he had 11 and 10 off the bench against the Lakers. I think he
was good against
like
the Jazz
6
too.
points. Yeah, I think he had 6 points, 8 rebounds against the Nets, and then last night you see 8 and 9. Just really productive bench
quality
minutes from Larry Nance.
Definitely.
Yeah, and he's another guy that you expect to do the right thing on the basketball court, and that's really important from your bench players.
Yeah. When he dunked on Walker Kessler, like kind of
nice.
to like seal the game, that made me so happy, bro. Because I left the game with like 3 minutes left, very reluctantly. And I was watching the game, on my way back to the car. And I was like, God damn, we're going to blow this lead. And then Larry dunked on Walker Kessler, and that kind of just like solidified the Pelicans win.
Connor, who dragged you out of those seats?
Should I disclose? That it was my girlfriend. Yeah.
No way, Connor.
Yeah, no. Okay, she had a valid excuse. There was a ton of people there, and where we were parked, we were kind of like sandwiched in. Like her car was kind of like sandwiched in, and she was like, "Can we leave early?" I was like, "Okay, if it's a close game, we'll see." And lo and behold, it was a close game. We still left early, but it's
wow. I'm
I'm just a very
Connor.
What?
This is where the priorities lie. It's disappointing.
Oh, right. No, I'm just a very liberal boyfriend. Not politically, you know what I mean. But yeah, so Pels had a great win against the Timberwolves, but
Anyway, can you scroll down to the Timberwolves stat line?
I can't. It's like frozen.
Oh, interesting. Well, anyways, as always, I don't know how often I do it. I don't know why I'm saying as always, but I have to shout out to McDaniels, I think, is one of the more underrated players in the NBA.
You mess with
Does
McDaniels?
it? I do really like McDaniels.
Just like you
Great
mess with
two-way player.
Macau?
I do love me some Mikal Bridges basketball.
Sam, I remember
Dude, that dude's jump shot is messed up.
So is Halliburton's, but it works.
Yeah, that's true. But
My boy Halliburton.
there's so much arm movement. I really love Tyrese Halliburton too.
Yeah.
Looking at the standings, let's see there. All right.
Oh wait, no, I was about to say
I've been
something.
looking.
I don't remember what I was gonna say though. Anyway, continue.
I mean, if you're the Pelicans, this is perfectly fine. This is where we want to be. Top 6 doesn't really matter where we're at. Obviously, we wouldn't like to be matched up with the Nuggets in the first round. But for me in the West, I think
Are you good
Nuggets
in the West?
have to be heavy. I don't think we're fine in the West.
Neither do I. I mean, Ja's doing great in the West.
They are. Ja is doing great in the West. I think
Ja and his boys.
His goons.
Boys.
Yeah, Ja's boys aren't his boys; they're goons.
Yep. I think the Nuggets have to be heavy favorites in the West, and then after that, to me,
like heavy.
I'd put them as heavy favorites. Like, I don't know who's beaten Jokic and Murray in a 7-game series. Like, who would you say is second in the West, Connor?
I mean,
like assuming that you would favor the Nuggets at least.
I'd favor the Nuggets. I feel like the Timberwolves match up really well with them, though. Think about it. Outside
I don't know. Like, for me, is Anthony Edwards going to be good enough to drag a team to the finals?
I feel like he has the potential.
Yeah, I think he could not this year. I think he could.
I don't think he can this year.
I mean, he's sitting like 25 points a game.
No, he is.
Quietly.
It's tough.
I don't believe in the Timberwolves like in the playoffs.
There's something to be said for their 14 and I guess now 2 record at home. There's something to be said for that.
Like, they're having a great season, but I don't think they're title contenders.
You don't think they're title contenders and they're leading the West?
Ooh.
No, I don't think they're title contenders.
So, all right, let me ask you this question. When the Pelicans were leading the West at about this time last year, did you think we were title contenders?
Yes, because Zion was a top 5 player or top 10 player, maybe not top 5. But I don't think, like, for me to win a championship historically, with the exception of like the 2003 Pistons, you have to have a top 5 player in the league on your
team. He's averaging 27 points per game.
He's having a great season. He's a star. I'm not denying that, but that doesn't mean that I think he's going to lead a team to a championship. Like, guys that have led their teams to the championship in the last few years: Jokic, Giannis, Curry, LeBron.
We're not talking about championship. I mean, I guess we are, but you said they couldn't make it out of the West.
Could they make it out the West? I think I'm going to say yes to that. Like, I think I wouldn't put them, like, to me, I think right now, I think I'd put them 4th, like, to get out the West.
Clippers, Nuggets, Suns.
I go Nuggets. I go Nuggets 1. I go Thunder 2. I have a lot of
Thunder.
I think SGA.
They're too damn small, bro.
Man.
They're too damn small.
They're arguably the second. I think SGA is arguably the second best player in the conference, and that gives them a chance to get out
behind Luka.
So I'd go I'd say behind Jokic. Like, SGA.
SGA is better than Luka.
You could say he's been better than Luka this year. I'm not saying he's a better basketball player. I'm saying this year he has been, though.
All right, let's not get too diverted from the original.
I think that's a legit debate, though, if you wanted to.
I feel like you can make that claim.
For another time.
I have the Thunder second, and I'd put the Clippers 3rd, and then I'd put the T-Wolves 4th.
All right. And Pelicans 5, 6.
Yeah, something like that. Like, to me, I think the Timberwolves have the same chance of getting out the West that the Sixers do of getting out the East.
The Timberwolves have the same chance of getting out the West as the Sixers do at the East?
Yes, that's my take.
I like that take. I don't agree with everything you said in the past, but I do like that take. I do agree with that. But yeah, I mean, kind of circle back to the Pelicans. Looking at the teams around the Pelicans, I like us against the Kings. I mean, we've proved that already. We're 3-0 against them this year.
3-0, yeah.
Mavericks, I don't know. There's
In the
something to be
Mavericks,
said for their
don't really
star
know what you're
power.
gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Clippers, man, they're playing good or well. I guess they're playing
Clippers
really
have been
well.
great so far.
We
We'll
are
see. It's
1-0
very
against
wide
them
open.
though.
Play them
We are
tomorrow.
1-0.
And then we had the
Yes,
Pels
we
Nation
do a
watch
big game
party.
against them tomorrow night. Yep.
That one
And then
Pels
play the
Nation watch
Kings
party.
after that.
What's that, Harry?
The Kings after the Clippers. I mean, you beat both them. I mean, you can jump the Kings and
Yeah, we got
the
Kings, Nuggets, Mavs coming up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
If you look at the schedule, is brutal in January for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Like you said, Kings, Nuggets, or whatever you said. Yeah, Kings, Nuggets, Mavs again. I think we have the Suns, we have the Thunder, we have the Celtics, and we have the Bucks all in this month. And then we have the Rockets as well, who have beat us twice this season. So it's going to could be a rough January. But like, I don't know, the way we played last night, I think we could beat anyone. So I'm not going to say that we're going to have a bad month, because if we stay fully healthy and playing the way we are at the moment, we could beat all those teams on any night.
Yeah, just like take a second and look at these teams' home records. 14-2, 14-5. Like, that is nuts.
Right. No, it's really difficult to go to some of these places and win, but the Pelicans did do it last night, to their credit.
They did.
And the Pelicans are 9-7 on the road, which is really good. If the Pels are a 500 road team this season, you have to figure that we're winning 50 games and we're in the top 6 of the West. So
yeah, I'm kind of hoping the Grizzlies don't find a way to get into the play-in. I don't know. I just don't want to see them.
They will.
Yeah,
I don't want to see them either, but they're going to.
You think? Yeah, I guess 5.5 really ain't that much.
5.5 out. I mean, we got 50 games to play.
Yeah, about 50. All right. Any last takes on the Pels before we move to baseball?
Can you scroll up to the East again? I want to see if I have any last basketball takes.
Detroit won a game, by the way.
Yep.
Go Pistons.
Detroit did win
Pistons
a game.
money line.
Hey, also.
Yes, they almost won again last night.
Also, Detroit Mercy is winless. It's a college basketball. They're winless.
After they had the dude that almost broke the score record last year.
Yeah. Detroit basketball is at an all-time low.
Yeah, it's.
How do you not even pick up a win against like a JUCO?
Yeah.
Like, how are you 0-17 or whatever they are? Anyway.
Not good. Still could probably beat the Pistons on their night.
City of Toronto can't have anything nice.
I said they still could probably beat the Pistons on their night. That team is bad.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Baseball, perhaps.
Yeah. Let's go to baseball. Let me end this. Stop sharing. Okay. So So I don't think did we do a pod when Ohtani signed? Have we done one since then?
Have we? I feel like I want to say I feel like we talked about it, but I want to say no.
Yeah, all right. It's not a big deal. Anyway, Ohtani signed for $700 million or whatever it was, and then the Dodgers turn around and give Japanese superstar Yoshinobu Yamamoto 300.
Good pronunciation. You had that down.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. You're critiquing me a lot today. Noticed.
Well, I'm just saying, that was a sharp pronunciation.
Thank you.
You have that ready.
So they gave Yamamoto, I think it was $325+ million. And to me, before I hear y'all's takes, to me, for somebody that has never threw a pitch in the MLB, seems a little crazy to me. But with that, Harry, what's your take on this?
First of all, Ohtani. I think he deserves the contract, but I just hate that it has to be the Dodgers. I mean, especially coming from a Braves fan. I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to see their rotation in the NLCS.
Oh, it's going to be stupid. Their rotation is going to be bonkers.
I mean, now you have Ohtani, Yamamoto, a healthy Walker Buehler, and whatever their rookie's name is, the dude
Bobby Miller,
and Tyler Glasnow if he's healthy. I mean, I feel
Kershaw.
I mean, Kershaw's like a 6 option. Like,
I know.
You could use him just like. I mean,
Well,
I feel like it's insane.
Isn't Ohtani not pitching this year?
No, he's not.
Supposedly, I mean, I'm not sure though. I mean,
I don't think he is. Regardless, I mean, and then at the bullpen they'll still have what Gratterall. Imagine if
you still have Blake Trinan, I think.
Trinan, I think, is still there, and I think they'll probably move Dustin May to the bullpen.
I mean, I think so too, just because of injury related. I mean, I feel like he could be a much better setup man to like Brusdar than he is like a starter. I feel like with his injury history, he's a better setup man.
Yeah, a middle relief come in. Maybe not to close. He could close.
I feel like that's why he Blake Trinan.
Yeah. I mean Gratterall also can close. But yeah, Sam, what you think about the two international
I think
stars?
The Dodgers grossly overpaid for Shohei Ohtani. Like when I consider that Aaron Judge is making $50 a year for Ohtani to be making $70, and they're both hitting this
Put
year.
an asterisk by the $70 though, because his contract.
I mean, yes, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Like,
on
I know
average.
it's deferred, but whatever. That's way too much money for me. Like he's a phenomenal hitter, great pitcher when he pitches, but he's not pitching right now. And I think that as a two-way player, he's probably on the decline of his prime, especially coming off the surgery. We don't know what we're going to see. So to me, spending all this money for a guy that I don't see getting better, like, I mean, I don't think
he can get any better. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think he's maybe the best player of all time, but I think he's going to decline. I will say I'm glad to see him get out of the Angels. I'm really glad he's not going to become the next Mike Trout and just waste his career up the road in Anaheim. So I will say I'm glad to see him in a different market. But man, Dodgers, they're going to do all this, and they're still going to lose in 4 games in the divisional. It doesn't matter.
The Pirates.
It happens every year. Every year they go in and we say, man, how is anyone going to beat this team? They have all-stars at every position. They have the best rotation in baseball. And then guess what? They lose to the Padres or the Diamondbacks. It's the circle of life in baseball. It's just the way it goes. Dave Roberts never wins. Their 2020 World Series does not count. It's a legacy of failure. It doesn't count, man. It was 60 games is the equivalent of a 5-game NFL season with 10 teams in the playoffs. The 2020 ring does not count. They choke every single year, and they'll probably do it again. This year, it'll probably be they've been going on a division streak lately, so I'm gonna say maybe the Padres get it together, mix things up, and take care of them in 4 games again.
The Soto less Padres.
Something. They've been losing to division teams lately. That's the trend.
Yeah, and I guess
either
go
either that or like I still think like for me I still think I'm picking the Braves and the Phillies ahead of them in the NL. Like the Dodgers do it every year. I'm falling for it.
You're not going based off just the roster. You're going on like tradition.
No, they had a lineup a few years ago where an all-star A.J. Pollock batted 9-hole, and they didn't make the World Series that year. They literally had all-stars at every single position.
Hey, man,
and still
Yankees
managed to not make it
Jose
out.
Trevino batting 9th, and he was an all-star. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Yeah, they literally had all-stars at every position.
Jose Trevino, all-star.
Sure.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Anyway,
I'm not falling for it. They're going to choke again.
All right. Sam I can tell he's a little pissed off right now.
I'm sorry, but people do it to the Dodgers every year. People get pissed. They sign everyone in the offseason like, oh my gosh, this is unfair. And then they lose to a team that's paying the entire like payroll from top down to like single A, like $80 million. And they got 3 dudes whose combined is like 150. And they lose. It happens every year.
Yeah. All right. I guess the biggest loser out of all of this, I mean, obviously
it will be the Dodgers.
Okay. All right, Sam. Enough.
All right.
They lose every year. I'm tired of it.
Is the rest of this podcast just going to be about how the Dodgers choke every year?
Okay, at least the Braves won a World Series. What have the Dodgers done? Nothing. They've
Alright.
won the division for the last, like,
You're
since
getting
2012.
See, you know how on part of the interruption they like mute people?
Okay.
Yeah, you're about to get muted, Sam.
Alright, bud.
Yeah, so I was gonna say the biggest loser out of all this, yeah, Sam thinks is the Dodgers. I mean, obviously the Braves are kind of losers just because another NL giant got two
I ain't
superstars.
worried.
Small market teams are really taking a hit. I mean, like, what are the teams like the freaking Tigers gonna do? Like, how are they ever gonna compete again?
It's
Alright.
tough. You got to build your farms. You got to
Like,
start down. You just got to start over farm system. I mean, you got to wait there 5-10 years again. I mean, you just passed on
thing
making.
is, the Tigers have been waiting. That's the thing. They've been waiting, and I
Well,
don't think their
okay,
time's
and
anytime
when,
soon.
when when they had Scherzer, Verlander, and Miguel Cabrera all on the same team, people were thinking
It
maybe
was
they
like
can.
10 years ago, my boy.
Yeah, exactly. And they still don't. And they still haven't done anything since then.
I know. So
Yeah, it's a brutal cycle of small market baseball. You look at the Royals, and they're a team that got it right. They did win the World Series, but even then, they've been in the mud ever since. And
the
it's just
Reds
kind
are
of the way
gonna
it
make
goes.
the Reds are gonna make it for the small market team. Watch.
Yeah. I
Ellie,
will say
man.
this though. For teams, 6 out of the 12 playoff teams last year came from the bottom half of the payroll, which is half and half, which is encouraging. Like the Orioles were one of the lowest, so were the Rays, and obviously the Diamondbacks, who ended up in the World Series, even
I'm praying
though
on the
they
Oats
didn't really have
downfall,
the
but
roster.
yeah.
Yeah. But there are some teams that are able to compete from that level, but that's just kind of the way the hierarchy of baseball works, unfortunately. And I can sit here and complain about it, but I'm not going to do that because I'm a Yankees fan and it benefits my franchise more than anyone else. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the Twins also would be in the second half of the
Yeah,
payroll.
they were in the bottom half. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Twins are like the Wizards in the mid 2000 or 2010s. They're always gonna make the
Yeah.
playoffs. They ain't gonna do nothing though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I will say with the sorry, I have one last thing about this. With the
What's crack?
balanced be quiet. With the balanced like schedules to where you don't play your division 19 times, I think it is going to lead to the central divisions having worse and worse records every year as they can't cannibalize their own terrible opponents in the small markets as often as they can. Because really in the central divisions, there's really only 3 markets, and that's the
Two Chicago's.
the Cubs.
Yeah.
Or no, it's really just the Cubs and the Cardinals that are big markets. Like there's no big market team in the AL Central.
I mean, Chicago, the White Sox.
I mean,
But
I don't think you call them a big market
they're
team.
not a big market team.
It's Chicago though.
I mean, they're consistently bottom half of payroll though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know, but it's still Chicago.
Yeah,
it's Chicago, but like they're the little brother team.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
In that city.
Even the Cubs have won one World Series in the past, however many years. But
108
have we
years.
talked about
Yeah.
Soto yet being a Yankee?
No, we have not. We have not.
Well, I am very happy Soto is a Yankee, but I'll be even happier if the Yankees resign or extend his contract. It's meant to be. It's a match made in heaven. I'm sure you have very similar thoughts, Sam.
Yeah, Judge and Soto at the top of the lineup. Those are on base percentage guys that are they're getting on base about 40%, 45% of the time. It's crazy. I don't know what else they'll have behind them, but I know
Don't matter.
We certainly have two.
Don't matter.
We have 2 stars and a couple other decent baseball players, and we have Garrett Cole, and that's about what we have. And I think we should make the wild card. We should if we traded for Gio, I would be ecstatic, as you all know. I'm coming on here.
Urshela back.
Gio Urshela. I kept the jersey all these years.
I hope you wouldn't have thrown it away.
Never.
Yeah. Never. Any soccer segments, Sam?
Oh, Sam's soccer segment. All right, so Arsenal's fallen off, which we do love to see. Liverpool sit top of the table, clear. Spurs are in 5th. They've rode the ship after a rough October, but they got 4 wins in the last 5. They're looking good. Elsewhere, FA Cup play starting. Spurs will probably choke again, and yeah, that's about it.
The what? The FA Cup? What is that?
The FA Cup. So it's where like literally every team in England plays in like the same tournament. So like if you're in the 12th tier or the 1st tier, you can win.
All right. When I was
kind of the way it works.
in the PSG, they did that like every single team. I remember in
Yeah, they
France
have
played.
the Coupe Nationale en français. But yeah, that's about it. Aston Villa's making a top 4 push. That's been exciting to see.
Really?
Yep.
How's Crystal
Man
Palace doing?
United's Crystal Palace is having a rough season under
Damn
Roy
it, man.
Hodgson. We'll see if he gets sacked, but they've been playing a little bit better lately. They've gotten actually, I think they might have 5 points out of their last 3 games. So they've been playing better. I think they'll survive relegation. Brentford could be in trouble. Nottingham Forest have been playing a little bit better. Chelsea and United still suck. And
Chelsea does?
yeah, that's about it. Chelsea's like 10th in the table. They're
Dude,
trash.
I remember Chelsea, like, they had Lukaku, Havertz.
No, they were stacked back in the
Conte.
day. Now they suck. Other than that, the teams that got sent up this year are probably getting sent straight back down. And that's all I got for Premier League takes. Champions League round of 16 will be starting up pretty soon.
Okay, and then I guess the last thing I have for y'all is give me a random athlete.
Luke Cornett.
Ivan Zubac.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Anything else for us here?
You tell me, Sam.
Braves are winning the World Series.
That's not a bad take always.
The Yankees are winning the World Series. Not a bad take.
No,
I mean, okay. I
take.
don't think the Yankees have what it takes to win the World Series. As much as I love Juan Soto, I don't think him and Aaron Judge can just full blown carry y'all.
We'll see.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like the same thing as the Dodgers. Dodgers have had Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, 2 of the best hitters in baseball. They were second and third in MVP voting behind Ronald last year, and they got swept.
Also, when they go out out there on the field, they wear a Dodgers uniform, and that also contributes to why they'll lose.
That is true too.
Yep. Sam, you're pissing me off, man. I'm not even a
They
Dodgers
never win.
fan, and you're pissing me off.
Why would I think that the Dodgers are going to win this season?
All right, for
I have no reason to believe it.
Until they actually win with a very all-star caliber lineup, I mean, I can't believe it either.
All right, enough of the Dodgers. To conclude, the Pelicans are title contenders. I don't care what you say. The Yankees are also World Series contenders, and the Saints are going to make the playoffs.
Oh, the Saints are not making the playoffs. Final take on the Saints. It's not happening. We don't deserve it.
It's definitely not happening. God, I hate that team so much.
Good performance last week, but that was honestly a consolation.
Yeah, just to give us hope like they always do.
Yep. Every time.
All right, and with that.
Yep. And we got to thank Harry for coming on. It's been a long time coming to get Harry on the pod.
Thank you for having me.
Shout out to you, Trent. I know you're listening somewhere.
What up, Trent?
And yeah, that's about it. And thank you for listening. If you got
I also bet Ginger's here, but
yeah,
hey,
Ginger's here.
Ginger.
Hi, bro. All right, and thank you for making it all the way through. And cue the outro.
Sam and CD.
CD.
CD and
CD and Sam.
Oh shoot.